In the heart of a cedar-scented valley, where the Great Plains stretched toward the sky, lay the village of Red Hawk. Taima, a boy of 12 summers, lived with his grandmother, Etzila, in a lodge adorned with woven blankets and eagle feathers. Known for his curious eyes and swift feet, Taima often wandered beyond the village, chasing the songs of sparrows or the rustle of deer through the underbrush. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a strange wind stirred the grasses. Thunder rumbled, not with the usual rolling growl, but with a sound like a mournful wail. The elders whispered of Wikinyan, the thunder god, whose voice shaped the storms. "He cries tonight," Etzila said, her voice low. "Something troubles the heavens." Taima, perched by the fire, felt a shiver. "Why does Wikinyan cry, grandmother?" Etzila's eyes gleamed. "Long ago, Wikinyan gifted our people rain to nourish the earth. But when the balance between earth and sky is broken, his cry becomes one of sorrow. Only a pure heart can learn why." That night, Taima dreamed of a great eagle soaring through storm clouds, its wings sparking with lightning. The eagle's eyes locked onto his, and a voice echoed, "Find the heart of the storm, boy. Restore what was taken." At dawn, Taima slipped from the lodge, his heart pounding with purpose. The elders often spoke of the Forbidden Valley, a place where the veil between the mortal world and the spirits was thin. It was said Wikinyan's sacred spring lay there, hidden among jagged cliffs. No one ventured there, for fear of angering the spirits. But Taima, driven by his dream, felt called. He packed a small pouch with cornbread and a flint knife, then followed the river north. The air grew heavy as he neared the valley, the sky darkening with swirling clouds. Thunder wailed again, louder now, like a wounded beast. Taima's steps faltered, but the eagle's words echoed in his mind. At the valley's edge, he found a narrow path winding through cliffs. Strange carvings marked the stones, spirals and lightning bolts, glowing faintly under the storm's light. As he descended, a cold mist enveloped him, and whispers filled the air, speaking in a tongue he couldn't understand. Foreign speech, he thought, like the spirits of the wind conversing. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the mist, a shadowy spirit with eyes like embers. "Why do you trespass, child of earth?" it demanded. "I seek Wikinyan's cry," Taima said, his voice steady despite his fear. "I mean no harm." The spirit studied him, then vanished, leaving only a faint echo. "Prove your heart." Deeper in the valley, Taima found the sacred spring, its waters glowing like liquid starlight. Above it hovered a shimmering orb, pulsing with energy. This, he knew, was the heart of the storm, a sacred relic that bound Wikinyan's power to the earth. But the orb was cracked, its light flickering, and the spring's waters were clouded with ash. Taima knelt, his fingers brushing the orb. A vision flooded his mind. Long ago, a greedy trader from a distant tribe had stolen a fragment of the orb, seeking to harness its power. The theft had weakened Wikinyan, turning his mighty roars into cries of grief. The earth suffered, crops withered, rivers slowed, and storms grew wild. Taima's heart sank. The trader's descendants lived far across the plains, in a village by the Black Hills. To restore balance, he would need to find the missing fragment. But the journey was perilous, and the spirits of the valley watched him closely. As he rose, the shadowy spirit reappeared. "The path is long, boy," it said, "but Wikinyan sees your heart. Take this." It pressed a small, glowing feather into his hand. "It will guide you." Taima trekked across the vast plains, the glowing feather warm in his pouch. Storms followed him, but the feather's light kept the worst at bay. He crossed rivers swollen with rain and evaded packs of coyotes drawn by the scent of the sacred relic. At night, he sang songs his grandmother taught him, songs of the stars and the wind, to keep his courage alive. After days of travel, he reached the Black Hills. The village there was bustling, its people wary of strangers. Taimao hid among the trees, watching. At the village's center stood a tall lodge, its entrance guarded. The feather pulsed brightly, pointing toward it. Under cover of night, Taimao slipped inside. In a locked chest, he found the missing fragment, a jagged piece of the orb, humming with power. But as he reached for it, a voice barked, "Thief!" The village chief, a stern man named Kanji, loomed over him. Taimao didn't flinch. "This belongs to a Kenyan," he said, holding up the feather. "Your ancestor stole it, and the thunder god weeps." Kanji's eyes narrowed, but the feather's glow softened his expression. "My grandfather spoke of a debt unpaid," he admitted. "Take it, boy. But know this, the spirits demand a price." Taimao returned to the Forbidden Valley, the fragment clutched tightly. The spirits of the valley tested him. Winds howled, shadows lunged, but the feather's light held them back. At the sacred spring, he placed the fragment into the orb. A blinding flash lit the valley, and the orb fused whole, its light steady and bright. Thunder roared, no longer a cry, but a triumphant bellow. Rain fell, gentle and warm, cleansing the spring. Wakinyan's voice echoed in Taima's mind. "You have restored balance, child of earth. The storms will sing again." When Taimao returned to Red Hawk, the village was alive with green shoots and flowing streams. Atsila embraced him, tears in her eyes. "You heard the thunder god's cry," she said, "and you answered." From that day, Taimao was known as Storm Listener, the boy who mended the heart of the sky. The elders told his story, and the rains fell in harmony, a testament to the courage of a pure heart.